So, can a dopamine fast speed up NoFap recovery?
Scandinavian Bob here, hi. Yeah, a real voice and person behind this video, who has been involved in the porn addiction community for more than a decade now. So if you're getting sick of all these fake AI videos out there, consider subscribing.
Well, the short answer is, I absolutely think so. Yes. The longer answer is, so far there are no studies made on PMO recovery in combination with dopamine fasting. But what there are studies on in the addiction world is studies that show how removing the stimuli that caused your addiction will make your dopamine system become healthy again. So that's what we know, and that's nothing strange at all. But then if you take a look at this in a logical way, we also know that your brain has one universal currency, and that is dopamine. Meaning, if you blast your reward system with other super stimulating things during your journey, of course that's going to prolong your NoFap recovery, since they all hammer on that poor reward center in your brain. And so then if we flip that dopamine stimulation and instead remove a lot of different dopamine stimulations, then it would not be far-fetched at all to assume that it can work the other way around as well, and that doing a dopamine fast can speed up NoFap recovery. And I have to tell you guys, in my experience, this is indeed the case. As some of you already know, I struggled with relapses for more than 7 years on my own NoFap journey. This means I have had a lot of different streaks, different lengths and different dopamine healthy streaks as well. And without exception, I can say that during the later years of my rebooting, when I started to learn more about dopamine and I started implementing small dopamine fasts, although I didn't know they were called that back then, during the streaks where I did those small fasts, the NoFap benefits rolled around much faster. And so now some of you are going to say, how much faster? Well, to give you some sort of number on that, percentage-wise, is obviously going to be impossible. We just do not know. That's too difficult to say. But it wouldn't surprise me in the least if a person could double the speed of his recovery by doing it. Now, do not quote me on that, because I don't know. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. Especially not if we take a guy who is living a pretty unhealthy life to begin with and he starts implementing dopamine healthy activities. Then I definitely think that guy could double or even triple his speed of recovery. Maybe even more. And the best thing about this, you don't have to do dopamine fasting all the time. You can do it in periods using different lengths and protocols. Now, I'm far from the only guy who has noticed this. Many of my one-on-one clients have tried some form of dopamine fasting, and almost everyone who tried it noticed a significant difference. Dopamine fasting can also make some guys relapse less, which is great. For example, yesterday I was surfing around on the site Your Brain on Prawn, and over there I just happened to come across a rebooting account from one guy who said, quote, I discovered NoFap 2 years ago and I was going back and forth with it. No luck whatsoever. I could never get past 7 days. Even though I told myself that I will never watch it again, I still couldn't do it. The urges were too much and I would just keep relapsing. But since a couple of months ago, I have not relapsed. And then a bit further down he says, anyways, how did I do it? Well, the one weird thing that helped me and woke me up was dopamine fasting. Now, isn't that interesting? As I said, there are many ways to do dopamine fasting, but this guy used a 24-hour fasting protocol where he basically reduced all instant gratification activities for 24 hours straight. Now, he was pretty extreme with his fasting rules, as he did no PMO, no video games, no music or podcasts, no food, no drugs, no cigarettes, no alcohol, no electronics, no laptop, PC, no phone and no TV, no internet and social media, no reading books, no workout, no talking to people. Yeah, so the last 3 there, I can say from personal experience, is not necessary. That's going a bit too extreme there. You do not need to abstain from people exercising and reading. In fact, did you know that socializing can actually help upregulate your dopamine receptors? Yes, very interesting, but it can. And so too can physical exercise. So if you ever consider doing a dopamine fast yourself, then never mind those last 3 there. Anyway, I thought you might find this topic interesting, and if you did, consider subscribing for more, because there will be a lot of similar videos in the future.
And speaking of dopamine fasting and speeding up the recovery time, if you're interested in diving deeper into this, then I can leave a link to my dopamine fasting online course below, because that course can really help with the recovery of your dopamine system. Here's just what Victor Martin has to say about the course. Quote, "I have bought your course, Bob, and I'm super happy. I truly believe that anyone who is detoxing from porn can greatly speed up their recovery with this. Perhaps instead of 90 days, it is possible in 40 days, unquote." Now, mind you, these are his words, not mine, so I can't promise you anything exact like that. I think you all can understand that. Here's just what another guy said in a comment under my very last video. Quote, "Thanks, Scandinavian Bob. I can't believe how consistently you hit the nail on the head, and this video is no exception. I highly recommend anyone struggling to subscribe to your dopamine fasting course. It has made a huge difference for me." Unquote. Yeah, and so if you're interested in discovering more about this, then you can read about this very course using the link below.